Jiangsu. Totte. Kanto. Koya. Niyo. Ni. Nei. Ah. Ni. Nimship. Pikachu. Pun. Pundi. Pundi. Helios. How are you? How's it going, my friend? Helios the healer. I don't know if you can hear me all right, but I hope you're doing well. Zinzin, come here. Come here, my beautiful baby. Oi, oi. That smart brain of yours. As soon as I hold my book up, you'll start trying to climb up on top of it. Kumi, Hamka. Uh-huh. Come. I'm good. You? I'm good too, my friend. Mm. How are you? How have you been, Helios? I haven't seen you in a couple of days. I've been off. Mm. I was just recording for my friends. Oh, tell me, what were you recording about? So, as you can see, I have a visitor. His head is just like Wonder Boy. How's it going, Wonder Boy? Wonder Boy from Northern England, if I'm not mistaken. Stephen Knight. How are you, Stephen Knight? Welcome. God bless you. How's everyone doing? Shanna. Welcome, Shanna. My area is a bit of a mess, so I don't want to show too much. But here's a cat. He's just chilling. Yeah, North Yorkshire. Doing good. How about you? I'm doing well, my friend. Maybe this is a better view for you guys. I'm doing well. Just chilling with my little baby. And yeah, you guys know how it is, right? Before bed, I'm learning some Korean, and then I'm like, hmm, how much do I want to invest in this learning thing? Ah, absolute zero effort. So I just come on and see who's there and have a little chat. Helios says, what's on your mind, Helios? Huh? Tell us. Ooh, look at this head. Look, so cute. We are getting usual chat. Did you scratch your ear again? Oh, thank God I have this little medicine for his ears. Yes, you're going to get it on your ears. Don't you dare go anywhere. Dear, good boy. Oh, he's super chill. I'm putting cream on his ears and everything. So this guy is Simba with a Z, not like the Lion King. And then there's Chiba, named after the first city in Japan I was ever in. He's in the other room. He ate, so he's probably laying under the washing. There we go. Good boy. There's two brothers, and they're the absolute chillest, funnest cats. They're so playful. Where else do we have something? Ah, here we have something. Here. Yeah, you were scratching yourself again, huh? So warm. And this, like I put netting so that no insects would get in. But I think they still got bit by a mosquito or something like that whilst they were sleeping. And they've got everything. They've got all their shots from the doctor, but sometimes you can't avoid it. Helios, if you're bored, then you're in the right place, my friend. Helios asking Wonder Boy, is he doing good in life? Yeah, he's deep questions are rolling in. Put some here. It's okay. There, you know this stuff. There we go. And I'll put some over here and here. Just a little bit there. Oh, you're such a good boy. Just chilling, bro. Mrs. is asleep. Just mended a couple of TVs today. Playing snooker tomorrow. Ooh, I think you mentioned that once, right? That snooker was your main go-to sport. And then you told me the guy, Steve Davis, Steve Boring Davis, is that his name? Welcome, welcome. We have somebody from Soviet Union saying hi. Just being chased by 20 people in a game. Steve Interesting Davis. God, that must be Northerner humor. Steve Interesting Davis. That's how boring he is. Wonder Boy, do you repair TVs for a living? I used to repair old gaming consoles for people, but I always had issues when I was hooking them up with TVs. Flashpoint, like the Flash comic? Is it a DC game? There's also a Donnie Yen movie called Flashpoint. Oh, you repair consoles. Mimi, assalamu alaikum. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? Say assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. There you go. A greeting from my cat. How are you, Mimi? Hopefully you're doing well. Wonder Boy, do you know the trick to convert the NES, PAL NES, into a console that can play Japanese games and American games? That illegal trick is something that I used. You lift the blocker, the conversion blocker up, and that's what I did. And then I screwed my console back together and I could play all the regional games. It was so cool. They can kill me in Speed Force realm. They can keep my speed, which is 30 kilometers a minute. Well, that is pretty fast. So that's basically like boom. If you're this size, it would be boom. 30 kilometers a minute. 30 kilometers a meter. A meter, right? 30 kilometers a meter. God, that's not sustainable for the human body. Lositivity. Lositivity says boom. Oh, welcome, welcome, Lositivity. Mimi shouts out everyone. Yeah, the old consoles, they technically can play other regional games. You either just need a converter, or you need to remove, like if you don't need to get a different type of, um, what's the word, cartridge for each console, then you just put it in and you remove the converter from the actual gaming console. I used to mend a bit of consoles back when I was a kid from working with my dad. Oh, cool. And we sell them on the weekend at Game Station. Do they still have Game Station? It's like the British GameStop, right? Mostly mend modern consoles these days. Ah, see you later, Helios. Mimi, we're talking about, you know how it is. I was supposed to be studying, and then my cat came, sat on my lap. He's kind of almost sleeping now. Come here, lie properly. Look, here. And he disturbed me while I was supposed to be studying, supposed to. So I thought, okay, I'll go on and see who's there. I haven't been on in a couple of days. Not sure if Game Station's a thing now. One of my town is closed down, here now. God, I've watched a YouTube documentary about more and more cities in Britain becoming ghost towns. And also there's like an issue selling property. If it's not London, which is ironic because it's one of the most expensive areas, or probably the most expensive area in Britain, then it's super hard to to get property. It's really crazy. Oh my God, your cat is so adorable. Oh, he is. He's the sweetest baby ever. Simba, come. I had a friend over, was visiting me, and she put Chiba, so that's Simba there, and Chiba's in the other room. And she put Chiba on her lap, and his belly was upwards. And she was like, I never want to leave this spot. And she just rubbed his belly for like half an hour. He was just sitting watching Netflix, and she was just rubbing his belly, and he was going, so she was happy. So yeah, happy cats make happy owners. Smoking bans killed the pubs, and Amazon killed the high street. It's crazy. I have a question for you, Wonder Boy. Um, do you two questions? Did you see a shift, a downward shift since 2020 with this kind of thing? And now, and of course you would say, well, yeah, because of COVID, right? But now that COVID's over, did everything drastically increase for a short period of time? Or has it kind of just remained dead? Or what's the difference between the height of COVID and now? Because that's what, 2021, 2022, we were like smack middle in COVID. So what's the difference you've seen? By the way, most places I go to have smoking bans anyway, but I think it hit Britain harder. Like a smoking and a drinking ban would just kill British social life. Yeah, COVID was sort of the nail in the coffin. It was already on the decline. Nothing really bounced back after COVID. Hmm. Well, okay, so here's the second part of my question. Since COVID, have you seen an increase in wellness themes activities? Something simple from people meditating in the park to going to the gym more often, going to the swim baths, stuff like that. Has that kind of thing increased? Because that would even it out. If less people are in pubs and they're all in the fitness uh, rooms, it would be kind of like even out. Smoking for me is one of the most terrible things you can do because it's just a bad habit. It smells. Animals and children shouldn't be around you if you're doing it. But, but I have to say this: if you're a smoker, you should have the right to go to a place that has proactively decided that it wants to allow smokers in. If I own a bar, I can make it non-smoking. The bar next to mine can make it smoking. It might seem like an unfair advantage in British nightlife, I'll admit that. But still, each to their own. I just noticed you can see Simba in the background, cleaning himself. Simba, yeah, my boy, come here. No, no, no interest. Sim Sim, come. I have to fight for his attention, but when he wants attention, I'm not allowed to give it to anyone else. No, I haven't really. All I see is people living almost virtual lives in their smartphones while they're in public and glued to Netflix and friends at home. Streeps are empty on the weekend. Hey, smoking is too bad for your lungs, especially when getting older. 10 years ago, it would be packed with people in the town. So, two things I'll say to that. Smoking, once again, I can't stress enough how uncool it is. Luckily, at our club, nobody smokes. And when their spouses show up, or their brothers or uncles to pick them up, you can smell them after they've had a cigarette. It just stinks the whole place out. Once again, I will say there are people that just like a good cigarette, and more power to them if that's what they want, right? Um, it should be really a personal choice. But I think they kind of took that away like rapidly in Britain. It was, I remember the period of time when they changed it. It was just like boom, and it was like, oh, okay, no more smoking. And the fines, oh my God, the fines are like astronomical in Britain. Mimi, don't don't go to Britain if you're not. Well, I mean, if you've ever been to Singapore, it's probably Singapore's the only country that's worse. But Singaporean culture has adapted to that kind of thing. British were just kind of like thrown into it. Um, and Wonderboy says 10 years ago it would have been packed with people in the town. So Wonderboy, all I can say is I saw a slight decrease. Um, Glasgow city centre. As you know, Glasgow's not the biggest city in the world, and a lot of the beautiful stories, the funny characters you would meet, the crazies, everything would be jam packed in the middle of the city centre. Still is, but less intensity, and it seems to be fewer people, but I don't know how accurate that is. You would need a head counter or a car counter to know how many people come in and out of the city. But yeah, I've seen a decrease as well. And everybody on the outlying cities of Glasgow, or outer laying city, or yeah, also the cities surrounding Glasgow, like Paisley, for example, a lot of them, would commute into Glasgow or just come and party in Glasgow. But that's just changed. And ashamed to say I am a smoker. I use cannabis for a huge part of my life, but managed to quit a couple of years ago and I haven't touched it since. Really good thing about it. You should be proud of yourself. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, you should. You should. Thumbs up for you, man. Um, Here's the thing I found out tobacco is actually very healthy for you. You can soak tobacco in water and you can put your feet in there for arthritis, for example. And cannabis also has, and I'll use the word important, it also has its important value in the medical department. But a lot of the times with, for example, regular cigarettes that include tobacco, it's the tar, the nicotine that's added on, and also the cannabis. If you overindulge, it can also be an issue. But it's great, for example, for people with joint issues and stuff like that. I was brought up in a council estate. We were five or more dealers on my street alone. It was easier to obtain weed and alcohol as a 16-year-old. Yeah, our area had originally it was weed. I've never drank or smoked, but that doesn't mean like I wasn't conscious of it. The weed, one joint would go for like 10 euros, 15 euros, something like that. And the weed was easy to get. It was also checked back and forth in school. The thing that made me disgusted was when I saw grown men come into our school and try and sell cocaine to like 16-year-olds. That was just absolutely disgusting. That's when I became a snitch. I was like running to the teacher saying, 60-year-old man outside selling, cocaine to that person and this person. So yeah, that to me, that was just too much. The weed, it never bothered me when people like smoke it or they sipped it amongst each other. I was always like to each their own. But the smell, oh, I hate the smell. But yeah, how many cigarettes do you smoke a day, if you don't mind us asking? By the way, no judging from me. Like I said, I'm just curious. Simba, yeah, boy. Are you going to jump up? He's going to jump up. He's going to jump up. Show your super jump. Don't stop. Jump. Ah, no scratches. All right, I thought I was going to give you guys some action, but apparently he can't be bothered. I think I was particularly susceptible to addiction since I had a racing mind and weed seemed to slow it down and enjoy being able to relax. Smoke about 10 a day. Oh, that's not too much. Ah, привет. All right, so I I was pretty much the same as you. Like my mind was consistently racing. Um, as a teenager, as a kid, um, you know, nerves, traumas, stuff like that. So I was lucky, I guess, because I started playing football, absolutely loved it. And it was like a creative and physical outlet for me. And then later on, um, when I wasn't allowed to go out or stuff like that, I could stay home and still play video games. And a ton of video games that I would just go through, like all different kinds. So I think that was my addiction: sport, maybe video games. Yes, baby. Oh, but you're my addiction, aren't you? Stop. Ah, you shouldn't be touching that area. No, stop it. Your cat is too cute. He's definitely a cutie. Yeah, but he just like the the medicine off. No, stop it. Simba, come on. Meet me halfway. I'm giving you a back rub. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Yes, my boy. All right, he's going to pass by. You might see him now. I think you can see him. He just went out. He just went outside. Video games was my brother outlet. It sort of formed his personality because he played games with his mates and they all had a laugh. And he's still like that now as a 30-year-old. Yeah, that was the original reason why I started streaming. During COVID, I was like, oh, you know what? I miss playing, having a video game night with buddies. Even when we still do that, like once every blue moon, it's just so awesome to do because you're in kind of a relaxed state and you just start talking rubbish and garbage and throwing stories back and forth. And, you know, I don't know how much we're now invested in the game, but back then probably more. But it's just so fun. It's just like an easygoing atmosphere. And you still in contact with your brother? Does he live close by? Where's my, I don't know where my drink is. Simba, bring daddy a glass of tea, please. No way he's going to do that. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread. Shana and Minnie. I mixed them up. Sorry, my bad. My bad, ladies. My fault for it was Shanna that said what was it? The cat is so cute. Yeah, he's always the star of the show. Daniel says serve Servus from Germany. Vielen lieben Dank, Daniel. Ich hoffe, es geht Ihnen gut und dass Sie einen wunderschönen Wochenende zurzeit haben. Um, Shana says Simba is the cat's name. Yeah, but with a Z. He's not that fake Lion King. He's an original. Um, he lives a couple of hours away. I see him every couple of weeks or so. He got himself a Finnish girlfriend. Okay. She's very posh and upper class, but they love each other. You know what? That's the most important thing. If he's happy, she's happy, they're keeping each other happy. So he's like, what's he like? David Beckham, and she's like Posh Spice. God bless him. Yes, Shanna. Ah, referring to my cat's name. Daniel says, I can't read Daniel's surname. Daniel Kaltenschnee. Kaltenschnee. That means cold snow, I think. I hope I'm not butchering that. Wow, klasse Deutsch. Wünsche ich dir auch uns einen angenehmen Abend. Dankeschön, Daniel. Und danke für ähm, den Besuch. Immer herzlich willkommen. Und vielen Dank für die Kompliment. Jetzt bin ich bemüht. Bemüht? Bemüht, um noch mehr zu lernen. Hey, I was supposed to be learning Korean today. And now I'm speaking German and I'm like, oh God. Ooh. German's always the language when I try to speak it that I'm most conscious of. Like Spanish, it's like, ah, lo siento, mi amiga. And the guy's like, oh, yo, amigo. And I'm like, oh, lo siento. But in German, it's like, ooh, there's lots of, they have, so they don't have the, they have der, die, das. That's really interesting. And there's some Germans that don't understand it. I don't, oh, sorry. Um, yeah, it's funny because they're like polar opposites, but it works somehow. He doesn't take anything serious at all. And she's terribly serious and woke, but yet, yeah, they're together. God bless them. It's all just separate mindsets, but the love and connection is there. That's all that matters. I do like her though. She's got a heart of gold. You know, wonder a lot of my friends, right, from all over the world, but they hate wokeness, right? I have a big portion of them. Some are woke themselves, but there's a big portion that hate wokeness. And what I usually say is, um, don't get offended by the wokeness because the, the, the core argument, what stimulated the core argument, is actually well-meaning. Sometimes they don't know how to deal with injustices, and that's where it can get on people's nerves, right? In movies and cinemas when they're force feeding wokeness. But it comes from a sincere place that was built on sincere bricks. There's a lot of organizations that misuse it, but yeah, that's a story for another time. Um, that's the most important thing. Indeed, indeed. Daniel says, guys, welcome Daniel to the chat. Look here, we've got somebody from Germany. We're so international now. How much languages do you speak? It sounds very good. Um, God, I can barely speak English, to be honest with you. Dan. I would say my Chinese is okay. It's rusty, really rusty, but I can get by. Like if you put me in a plane just now and threw me in China, I'd probably like be okay. If somebody starts talking about politics, not so good. Korean, that's the main language I'm learning now. Korean. Um, for me, it's probably the weakest language I'm trying to officially learn and speak right now. It's the one that ranks the weakest. Um, I think the past 3 months after getting back from Korea, I haven't studied at all, and I think that's what's kind of making me feel uneasy. So it's hard to rank. Um, but I can kind of get by with Korean. I can express my intent. I think if I brush up in 1 or 2 weeks, I'll be back at the level that would make me feel confident that you can just drop me in Korea and I'll be okay. Um, English barely. Wonder Boy's from Northern England, so he'll tell you. I can't really speak English. And then a little bit of Spanish. Mimi says his Arabic is too good. Ah, la habibti, la habibti. Shukra, shukra. Um, Arabic, I don't think so. I like the Arabic spoken in the region that you're from, Mimi. It's like so nice. Shukra, shukra. It's like, so clean, When a boy says, I think a lot of it's to do with deception, like people from council estates see deception from an early age and are less trusting of things in general, especially authority. Whereas middle class and upper class seem to believe everything authority says. Have you ever heard of the migrant? The migrant experiment 7. Oh no, that's a question mark. Sorry. The migrant experiment. Can you explain it to me? I haven't heard of it yet. Um, and also, I don't know if that answered Daniel's question, but I think in Deutsch, mit Deutsch kann ich überleben, sobald ich nicht über Politik sprechen muss. Und wenn es nicht so schnell geht, dann, dann geht es. Whereabouts in Germany are you from, Daniel? If you don't mind sharing with us. Thank you so much. Germany is like 3 in the morning, I think, right now. I'm curious to see what the migram, migram experiment is. By the way, guys, I'm going to share a secret with you. I'll share it in another stream, but I'll give you a little taste. I tried quantum healing and quantum hypnosis, and I'll share my results at a later time. I'm still kind of shell shocked from what went on. Hmm. I think the migram experiment, by the way, was something with a jail, or was it in a military? Have you ever heard of the migram experiment? Migram is a study of obedience, like the extent people would trust and obey an authority figure. Like 60% of the people in the study would end a person's life if an authority figure instructed them to. Well, I mean, look at it this way. If you look at the war in Congo that's going on right now, they sent back 400 East European voluntary soldiers. And I found out that the soldiers were being sent to Congo from authority figures that were from military from their countries that were basically getting them quote unquote jobs. So let's say, right, let's say Mimi contacts me. I'm, I don't know, Romanian. No offense to any Romanians. And she says, "Oh, we have a war currently in my country." And then I'm like, "Okay, I can provide you with some soldiers." So then I go and I contact Wonder Boy. And I say, "Wonder Boy, I just got $100 from Mimi. I'll give you $50 if you go and fight a war." And you would say, "Oh, I want more." And I would say, "No." And you would say, "Well, I'm unemployed, so I guess if it's no, it's no. And I'm taking that money because I got you that job." Now, notice that I'm consistently referring to it as job. And it was a job that you got convinced to do because somebody you trust, an authority figure who's higher than you in the military, says you should go and do it. But now look at how insane it is. You're leaving your continent to go and fight a war that you know absolutely nothing about. All you know is you're going to meet with a group of people that are going to share intel with you and pay you to aim your gun in a certain direction and shoot it. You're in the middle of a war. You're willing to kill men, women, and children, but you have no idea why you're doing it. And that was in the news 2 months ago. So you don't have to go too far back in history. And that is petrifying. And they captured, from the 400 soldiers, I think they captured 390. 10 of them, I think, went hiding in the Congolese jungle. And if you know anything about the Congolese jungle, apparently there's snakes bigger than buses there. So we're never going to see those guys. But when they caught the guys, when they caught the soldiers, they paraded them on the streets. So Congo being a beautiful country, you see this beautiful street, and then you see a Congolese soldier walk up, and the camera's like panning, and he's shouting. He says, "This is how much your life was worth, huh? Your life was worth a paycheck." They were rounding them up to send them back to Europe. They were deporting them because the rebels that are financed from apparently the Rwandan government to keep Congo invasions at bay, the rebel soldiers had taken over that area and they had taken over the airport and they're just sending the soldiers back. Some of the soldiers got shot in the leg and they're with, those sticks to help them walk, right? Other soldiers had the eye patch sharpen or something got into their eye or they got an infection. And they were being paraded on the street, Congolese generals shouting at them, "Is this what you came here for? Is this what you came here for? Did you want to go back in body bag? Is this why you're here? You're fighting a war. Do you know even how you're fighting?" The crazy thing was the reaction from the soldiers. None. No apologies, no look of shame, not even a look of fear. All it basically was, they looked like your avatar in a video game and you got shot and you're refreshing and you're in the loading screen. NCPs of the highest level. And I'm like, where did their souls get disconnected? At which point of their life did they blindly started following authorities that are not even their own countries, you know? That's a waste of lives, Mimi says. Yes, top comment. Waste of lives indeed. That's so sad. These people will suffer with PSTD, etc. when their conscience kicks in. That's um question is like when will their conscience kick in? You hope that it kicks in before they do something horrific, like shoot a child or something like that. Also, the problem with war zones when soldiers take over, if it's not properly maintained and observed by a higher authority, they start to lose their sense of boundaries. They start to be bossy, they start to be aggressive. Longer they've been left alone by their units to just, take over one place. Usually the more the stress kicks in, right? Because they're constantly in that flight or fight mode. And that's not a natural mode for the human to be in. I saw a lot of that during COVID. People were wishing death on the unvaccinated and saying they should be ostracized from society. Those same people, I guarantee you, as soon as the government said you can fly to Mexico, they were on the next plane. The same people have totally forgotten about it and they're now walking around as if nothing ever happened. I remember watching a video of Israel Adesanya, who, for those of you that don't know, he's an MMA fighter, originally from Nigeria, with a Chinese passport, living in New Zealand. So he lives in New Zealand. New Zealand closed off its borders. They didn't let anybody in, they didn't let anybody out. What they did do is they continued after pretty early on, or pretty late into COVID, they continued to allow people to have parties. So I think the first New Year everything was quiet, and then the second New Year they allowed everyone to have parties on the street. And I remember the hate people from Europe were given the people in New Zealand. Another country on another continent on the other side of the world with their own rules, with their own government, and yet people felt so entitled. Like they were like showing the crying emojis saying, but there's COVID. And like, why are you so invested on what's happening on the other side of the world? Well, your answer is you have to be because you can't even visit your next door neighbor. So it's one of those devil circles where they can't get out of it. They have intention. It's like when Cristiano Ronaldo was in his swimming pool and he was locked down during COVID, and people were like, ugh, I wish I had a swimming pool. We're not all as lucky as Cristiano Ronaldo. And then there was a gay guy in the comment section saying, don't use dead. Take down this photo of Cristiano Ronaldo in his swimsuit. This is all I've got during COVID. Stop hating. I mean, he had a point. Um, oh, so that during, never seen so much division, even internally between families. What an insane thing to live through. Yeah, it was crazy. I think probably the best thing that came out of COVID was, and this might sound a little bit esoteric, but it was the conscious expansion of things. So people became more mindful, more self reflective. People were on the brink of going crazy. So they had to push through their demons to come out on the other side. It didn't work for anyone, but I think a lot of people started questioning governments and questioning themselves and their own health and stuff like that. The quantum healer whom I met, I asked him, I said, I can't find any study materials on quantum healing prior to 2020. It says it seems like all the studies and scientific research has only recently arose. And he says, yeah, he says that's probably because of COVID. COVID played a big part in conscious expansion, for lack of a better word. For real, he says. Yeah, agreed. It woke a lot of people up. Yeah, I mean, you still have people who will wear masks for different reasons. Like when I'm in Southeast Asia, it's very common that they do so. But you'll still have people that are angry that that time's over because they're stuck in their own mind and they have a life where they're in their own box and they were happy that everyone had to live that. And that's sad, right? It shows you what they have to live through. So we can only pray for such people. But yeah, it was a crazy time. There's one newspaper headline that stuck in my mind from that time. Time to ditch your unvaccinated friend. Well, here's the thing. Newspapers now, depends on the country, mostly in Europe, they're starting to report, are vaccinations still necessary? With the question mark. Question is, was it the same newspaper or was it two opposing opinions from two different newspaper companies that ultimately have the same owner? But he's just covering two. He's what's the word? He's got his skin. He's got the skin in the game of. He's got what's the word I'm looking for? He's got real estate in both ends of the spectrum. That because I worked for a news reporting agency during COVID. I, I was editing Facebook videos. It was like a West European company. I don't want to mention their names. I did sign a confidentiality agreement, but the concepts were just terrible. Like I was reporting on sports, and then when sports got shut down, they were kind enough to offer me to like edit videos for politics. So I wasn't a journalist or anything, but they'll give you the full video, and then you have to edit it down and make sure the trigger words are always in there. And the trigger words for politics are quite, it's not like Manchester's playing Liverpool, and then, well, we see, I don't know, Wayne Rooney come back, hat trick, please. That would be the trigger words there, right? But when politics is involved, especially during COVID, it's like Trump owns Biden. Biden owns Trump, and they would literally let you choose who your favorite president was, and then just report on that. So yeah, it was. I thought that was a meme or something. Oh no, these were proper things. These were proper things. And now the amount of people that have had sicknesses coming from COVID, also the ruptures, all the different ruptures that people are having. It's because they didn't do sport for 3 years, and then they're putting their body under immense pressure. Immense pressure. In this moment in time, that would the body would only be able to do if it had built itself up the past 3 years. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, that's what makes you evolve when you're put through a hard time. When you put through a lot of pressure, that's what creates a diamond. So hopefully there's more of a mass consciousness that's asking questions, curious. And it's good to be curious. It's good to be able to ask your government questions. Not every country in the world allows that, but more governments are opening up. And I think Mimi can vouch, for example, for one of her, I believe, neighboring countries, Saudi Arabia. They've become more open, right? Other countries might be going in the other direction. But yeah, the Brazilians, for example, they've become more responsive and more invested in who they're choosing as their leader. Um, I think in Ireland, there were some protests for both ends, but you have to respect both ends. Helios says, I'm back. Helios, my friend, good to see you. Guys, I am almost reaching an hour, and let's see how my battery is going. Oh, 2%. I have to say goodbye, guys. I have to say goodbye, and it's also almost 3 in the morning here. Let me just see real quick. It's past 3. So I will, unfortunately, the pressure creates a diamond. I like that. Yes. One comment, one word of wisdom that I heard the other day, I think the day before yesterday, was how can you ever heal from trauma? How can you ever heal from feelings that you don't feel? That's the mind work you have to put in to heal from emotional stuff. But yeah, good night, guys. Thanks for the chat. Much love. You too, my friends. Helios, take good care. I'm going to say good night to Mimi. And who else was it? Uh, Daniel, and I think someone else we had. Sorry if I missed any names. Lovivity or Lovetivity. So yeah, in case I missed anyone, just want to say thank you everyone to join. Good night and God bless everyone. And I just saw an ant on my cover, so I'm going to need to take care of that. So I'm going to wish you all the best, guys. I'll be streaming tomorrow, I guess. Anybody who wants to join can come for a chat. And other than that, I'm going to wish you guys all the best.